Welcome to the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Chris Saunders. I'm pleased to have on with me from the Wolcott Eagles baseball program is senior Drew Rocca, who's hitting the nickels in the fall, left-handed pitcher, and also hits from the right side as well. And will be doing both when he plays at nickels, but currently is at Wolcott right now. Drew, I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You and I were kind of just talking shop a little bit as far as with some of the teams that are in the NVL, and I really got to tell you, it's pretty. Obviously you have the upper echelon, then you got some teams in the middle of the pack, and then some teams that are struggling. But I feel like there's a lot of very solid teams, 1 through 5, 1 through 6. Like you and I were talking about Torrington, Holy Cross, Naugatuck, Oxford, yourselves, St. Paul. Obviously Woodland being one of the best teams and really showing it too. It seems like it's a really good year for NVL baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's really any game could come down to any situation. It's just going to be who has timely hitting and who can
Mm.
pitch the best that day, honestly.
So I kind of want to talk about yourself a little bit. Now, your coach, who I've had on, great guy, obviously, and being able to follow your program and such. He was kind of giving me a background on you a little bit, and he said that you are related to a former major leaguer. Is that right?
Yeah, it's my godfather,
Now, who is that for people who may not know?
Darren Bragg.
You're okay. So how did that how does that like whose side of the family? Your mom's side, your dad's side?
It's not related by blood, but it's my dad's best friend, so it's not technically related.
Yeah, but you could lie and say it is, just to say, you know.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So being able to have him as your godfather, that's got to be one of those. I mean, obviously what he did, and obviously I don't, his career in of itself was awesome, but
Yeah,
to be able to kind of have that at a young age, I mean, how cool was that for you?
yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was definitely something to look up to, and
Hmm.
just like he would give me a lot of really good information to grow from since a young age. So it helped me. Yeah.
What were some of the conversations like, if you could remember anything you had with him at a young age?
I was I can't really remember the conversations, but I would say all the conversations that I had with him compared to anyone else were definitely like a higher level.
Hmm.
And actually, sometimes were hard to understand from a young age.
That's funny.
Very critique things.
Which is okay though. That's good though, because
Yeah,
you
very,
can critique and refine the game.
yeah,
Now another thing too that I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this too during the football season, because I've had opportunities to call a lot of Wolcott football games over the years, and obviously, the Pollock name is a pretty lineage name in Wolcott. The
yeah.
Roca name is too. So kind of tell me about kind of your family background a little bit, because you got a pretty healthy family a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, so my dad played baseball. I think he graduated like 87, I think.
Hmm.
And he played for 3 or 4 years, and then he went to Southern and he played baseball there.
Hmm.
And my cousin played baseball, and then I played baseball. Yeah,
So how does that feel to kind of continue on the tradition with, like you said, your cousin, your father, and such, and being able to go through with that?
it feels good. It feels like I want to continue that for sure.
Did you ever feel like there was any, I don't want to say pressure, but did you ever feel that there was, I guess, added weight is probably the best thing to say because of all the success that they had?
I mean, not really, because I wasn't really worried about what they did or what I did, and I think I'm the best rock. I don't know.
You think you're better than the both of them?
I do.
Now, why is that? Do tell.
I I don't know. I just think I got a little leverage over my dad.
Now, what position did your dad play?
He played outfield and first base.
Okay, so I'm assuming he probably was more of a hitter, right? I would think.
Yeah, I think he did some pitching though.
Oh, he did some pitching. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, was he a lefty like you or no?
yeah, he was.
Oh, so I'm assuming so what probably happened was when you were born, did he tie your right hand behind your back and was like, you're just going to be a lefty, do everything left-handed? Is that right?
I'm pretty sure he let me decide actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. So, I mean, but
both
when he found
ways.
out you were a lefty, he must have been thrilled.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool, man. I was just joking about the tying the hand behind your back thing. as a kid. I was just joking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some people take me serious. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. So, at a young age, did you play any other sports, or do you play other sports, or is it just baseball?
At a younger age, I played soccer when I was little. Then I played basketball when I was little.
Mhm,
I played some flag football. And then when I got older, I played basketball in middle school. I played soccer in middle school. I did cross country in middle school.
mhm.
And then once I became a freshman, I played freshman basketball and obviously baseball. And then after my freshman year, I gave up basketball and just focused on baseball. But then this past winter, I played on the Wolcott basketball team as well.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay, so were you on the bench when you guys played against Wilby? Because I called that game.
I was not at that game. I had been sick. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I called that game and I had an opportunity to be able to see Wolcott. And even though
yeah,
it was a tough year wins loss wise, I felt like there was a lot of positives and you guys played very well in the second half. I know Nanawag, a team that you'll be seeing on Tuesday for baseball, you guys gave them a very good game, especially when they
yeah.
won.
That was a very good game
Yeah.
for
So
how far they got into states and stuff. That was a really good game.
yeah, so but I'm good to hear obviously that you're feeling better, obviously what you've done on the mound. So let's get
Yeah,
into that. 19 innings so far, 44 strikeouts. I mean, doing the math in my head, that's probably like over 4.5 strikeouts, 5.5 strikeouts an inning, right? Give or take, maybe a little less. But regardless, it's a lot of strikeouts. Um,
yeah.
what's been working for you this season from the mound? If you can explain that.
I think the biggest thing is location and using all three pitches.
Hmm.
And because I honestly don't, I obviously I don't throw the hardest in the league.
Hmm.
So it's more about just like pitch location and pitch in like different count situations.
Now, when you're on the mount, because you said your velocity is maybe not to the same level as others, right? Which there's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that, right? Because I feel like
yeah,
lack velocity, quote unquote, is like a dying breed. Pitchability, right? Everyone just likes to throw hard, right? That's it. Oh, I call
yeah.
it dead brain heaving, just throwing the ball and who cares where it goes. Um, for you being on the mound, are you having to kind of in some ways tinker with different grips? Because let's say your whatever X pitch is not working because you only have a couple. Do you have to try to figure things out mechanically or maybe the placement on the baseball to try to find it?
Yeah, so sometimes I only my catcher only calls fastball, curveball, changeup, and I choose if I want to throw my two seam or four seam because as a lefty, sometimes my four seam moves just as much as my two seam.
Really?
Yeah. So sometimes when my four seam is not working, I will throw my two seam all the time,
Hmm.
or vice versa.
Now, your delivery over the top, three quarters, or sidearm.
Over the top. My dad taught me over the top. He didn't want my shoulders or elbow to get hurt.
Smart man. Tell him I said that. Smart man. So, with you throwing over the top, then as a lefty, do you still have that natural boring sink on the two seam? Does it go this way? So when I go that way, I'm talking about in to out, outside. So back door to a righty, front door to
Yeah,
a lefty. Does it do that?
yeah, it does. I think the more I get on top of the ball, the more the ball runs.
Okay.
And if I sometimes get on the side, then sometimes it'll actually go in on a righty. But
Really?
I never try to really get on the side. It's just always try and get on top. That's how I'm gonna get the best velocity and all that.
Now I'm assuming to your curveball kind of like I'm assuming Koufax straight over the top, top to bottom kind of break.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And then your change up, probably boring sink, that late tumble. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay. Which pitch would you say is your favorite out of the ones?
I think this year my changeup has been my favorite because it's been a pitch that I could throw and I know I'm gonna get a ground ball out.
Hmm.
And I've been trusting it a lot more this year than in past years.
Now, what made you trust it more this year than in past years? Did something just click in your head?
It's partially I changed my grip up a little bit, and then over the winter I've been working on it. Yeah,
What were some of the things that you were working on with your changeup to kind of improve on that? What were you doing?
not as much of pronation of my fingers. So like this, like some people pronate their fingers the opposite way to get the ball to move a certain way,
Mm.
but it was more about just playing catch with it and like getting used to the grip so I'm comfortable throwing it.
Now, take me into your day of your starting, right? Because I know every starting pitcher, because I played baseball my whole life. I've seen every routine I felt like known to mankind. And I was a lefty myself. We're all strange. We all do different things, weird things, right? It's funny.
Yeah.
Do you wear your hat the other way, kind of like Fernando Rodney? Do you wear it the other way?
I'm a straight hat guy.
See, I could never wear my hat straight, no matter. I don't know why. I just couldn't do it. I'm glad you can do it
Yeah.
for you. So take me into your routine. Day of you starting, from the time you wake up until you start. What's the routine like?
Honestly, when I'm on the mound or I'm in center field, the routine is the same until I get to the park.
Okay.
And I would say once I get to the park, it's more about like preserving my arm, but getting it loose to pitch. So like if I was to pitch, I'm not going to throw my bullpen 100% because there's no need to throw 100% until I'm in the game.
Yeah.
And
Now,
then like when I'm
okay.
playing catch, I throw a little longer when I'm playing catch with my catcher
Mhm.
warming up. But I really just want to get to a point where my arm is loose and it's not on fire, like ready to throw 100%. Yeah,
Now, do you long toss? Do you do that for a elongated time or not as much?
I definitely throw longer and more times when I'm pitching than when I'm in center field.
Okay. Good to know. Now, are you throwing your changeup grip when you're long tossing or no?
I'll stay with just a fastball until I get to like 60 or 70 feet, and then I work it in on the way back in.
Okay. Now, when you're before you go on the mound to throw your warm-up pitches, obviously before the game, are you throwing from flat ground at all just to get like a feel before you step on that mound or no?
So we have a mound on the side of our field, so I throw from our mound, like our bullpen mound, prior to the game.
Okay. But I'm saying before you step on that mound, I'm saying do you
Okay, yeah,
throw flat ground just to get like you said, long toss to kind of wake your arm up, and then as you
yeah,
get closer, now you're just trying to get some feel on your pitches and get into that groove of your motion a little bit before you step on the mound. Do you do that or no?
yeah. On the way in, when I'm back to like probably what I think is around 60 feet, I'll throw like probably 10 pitches, all different of my fastball, curveball, changeup to
Okay.
my catcher, and he'll just be standing there and he'll let me know like how the break was, how the movement was.
Mhm. Now, in my conversation I had with Craig before we started this interview, he was telling me how much you have meant to. I mean, he said that his son loves you. He said the program, the kids admire what you do, and he spoke very, very highly of you. And I know Craig would do anything for you guys. I noticed that last year, and he's continued that this year. I think he would give. I think if somebody needed a kidney on the team, he'd give up his kidney. I really believe that. Do you guys realize how much he loves you guys?
Yeah, he definitely cares about us when we in practice, like when we call it up and after games. We always say family, and it's like it's big to us because when the Wolcott brand is playing together and the way you play together is you pick up the ball and if
Hmm.
someone makes an error, you just move to the next play and that's it.
How much with the success that you guys had, I feel like in some ways you shocked a lot of people, especially, I mean, how you guys got to the state championship game was nuts. I mean, every game back to like the final out, final strike, the whole nine. I mean, thinking about that and what you guys were able to do. And I know there's been a couple sports at the high school that have been struggling, and I'm sure they'll get back to prominence one day, hopefully soon. But what you guys were able to do on the baseball side, do you feel like you kind of woke it a little bit? Because I felt like it's like a, there's so much success that's happened in Wookett throughout the years that I felt like last year I felt like woke up some people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like I mean, obviously in the late 2010s there was a Wolcott team that made it to the finals a couple times and like since then there hasn't been much, but I think we kind of shook back up that Wolcott's still here and we're ready to win some games.
What is it like, with the team that you have this year? It's a young team, but it seems like you guys are maturing at a fast rate. Even the kids that have not had a lot of experience. I know Craig was telling me there's a couple kids that didn't really play much last year that are playing big roles this year and coming up with some big time hits, big time plays, offensively, defensively, being able to do their thing. As a guy who's a senior and such, that's got to make you be thrilled seeing the growth of this team.
It is from where we were in pitchers and catchers to now has been a tremendous leap.
Mm-hmm. What's been some of those things that kind of what's been the biggest leap from your standpoint?
I think the biggest thing is just getting the younger kids to relax and enjoy the game and just it's the same baseball game, it's just at a higher level. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you're on the mound, are you more like Tom Glavine or Rocker? Are you crazy or are you calm, cool, and collected? Which one are you?
I'm definitely calm, cool, and collective.
Now, is that did you get that from your dad or no?
I think it's just like if I were to be crazy on the mound, I wouldn't be able to like breathe and take my time and throw a pitch where I want to locate it.
And like you said, you don't have the velocity. So if you start to overthrow, then your stuff starts to become flat. Or you overthrow and then you leave that cement mixer curveball, which would be taken about 400 feet, right?
Correct.
Okay, interesting. Now, before I let you go, Drew, I appreciate you coming on. You're heading to Nichols in the fall. What made you select Nichols as a place to play baseball?
So throughout my search, I was searching for a school that would educationally fit me.
Mhm.
Number one, and number two, I wanted to have a good relationship with the coach and a place that felt like home to me, and that was really what made me choose Nichols.
Where do you, as far as majors, I'm sure you probably have thought about it a little bit, maybe not as much, but is there anything that's piqued your interest as far as what you may major in?
I'm a major in uh, why am I blanking right now? Um, business analytics. That's what it was.
So you want to be like a Billy Bean type, right? You want to be like something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna go in with some sort of business degree, but
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna do some exploring.
What kind of made you choose the that side as far as your major?
Um, it's just throughout high school, I liked business classes pretty much.
Really?
Yeah,
So I'm assuming you're good with numbers too, right?
yeah, math.
So you're probably so that's got to be cool then, because then you can calculate everything when you're on the mound, right? I'm sure you are you the kind of kid that's thinking constantly when you're on the mound?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it
A
hard
lot
not
of
to
times,
is it hard not
a
to
lot of times,
overthink
my
though
coach has to
sometimes?
calm me down a lot, like because I'm
Really?
thinking too much.
But you know what though? It's good that you're thinking though, because I'm sure you're reading swings and you're like, okay, this is what happened like two at bats ago with the same kid. He did this. Like, is that kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, definitely. Even like the previous swing I see them take in their warm up swing, I'll look at that and I'll almost alter where I'm going to throw to them.
Mhm. Interesting. Drew, I really appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of fun. Before I let you go, what can people expect from Wolcott now that we're basically in the second half of the spring season for baseball?
I expect Wolcott, everyone should expect Wolcott to have like be battle tested because we've already played a lot of one run games and
Hmm.
just to compete in a lot of games in the next second half of the year and hopefully make a run in the NVLs and states.
Drew, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Now, wrap things up on the CT Sports Talent Show. So next time, stay safe. Mayor CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm Jerry. Find them all. Enjoy the day, everybody, and be well.